Hey guys, Artosis here, and welcome back to ArtosisCasts. I hope that you've been enjoying the games lately. I think we've been really lucky and gotten a lot of great ones. This one, I wanted to try something a little bit different here today. This is kind of a fun one. Like, sometimes I will cast games of Mihu or DeWalt or Bonneth. They're kind of like the top three non-Korean players. Mihu, of course, probably the best overall, a Chinese Terran, and then the two European Protosses from DeWalt and Bonneth. You know, they give some great games out there. Here I wanted to extend just slightly beyond that. This is Dandy. He is and has been one of the best non-Korean Terran players for many, many, many years. I think there's been multiple times where Dandy has been the actual best non-Korean Terran, but he's definitely amongst them right now. A very strong Peruvian player. And he plays a very straightforward macro style. I really have a lot of respect for him. Honestly, I have since Remastered came out. There was, I'm pretty critical of the Terran play that exists in the non-Korean scene. I think that his is fantastic. Here he's going up against Promise. You've definitely, if you've watched like all my casts, well, damn, you've watched a lot, but you've definitely seen some of Promise. He is one of these guys that hasn't been in ASL yet. He's not quite right on the brink. I would put him right below right on the brink, right? Where it's like the best example is like, guys, Ride Sky is going to qualify for ASL next year. Okay, if he doesn't, it's a shame. Whereas Promise is like right below that, right? Where it's like he's very good. Promise is very good. But he's more like a 2600 guy, not a 27 through 2900 guy, if that makes sense, right? So a very, very good Protoss, but yeah, maybe not quite ready for ASL yet. So I think that this is going to be a pretty good matchup overall. It is a Nexus first here, and the rush distance is pretty far. So these can be a little bit tough to bust on Apocalypse, which is our map. Dandy going down into the center. He actually checks the center a little bit, maybe looking for a proxy gate, and he will find this super fast. So we'll see if he optimizes his build into a bust. I would say 99% chance that he will, but there is still an opportunity here for a Forge. So we're going to see if he goes for that. The SCV goes by. He might actually be checking for that. The Forge expansions have become extremely popular because it just stops dead any Marine SCV Vulture rushes that occur. And yeah, it doesn't seem like he's going to go for that. It seems like it's going to be a Senkin Gate and Cybernetics Core. I'd be pretty surprised if he doesn't throw the Senkin Gate down here. There it is. Okay, so Dandy knows exactly what it is. And he is making another Marine. In fact, that Marine started before that SCV did. So that was a slight optimization towards more units. We'll see if he should be throwing down a third depot if he wants to do this. Like, very, very soon. So there's the third Marine. Yeah, I think he's going to go for a bust. I do. Right now, Promise is making his first sell-off. He's going for those quick Dragoons. And here we go. Yep, 6 SCVs being sent. 6 is maybe a little bit low for this, but, every Terran has kind of their own style. 3 Marines, 6 SCV, Vulture Marine Rally. There's that third depot, but it is a little bit late. So if he makes another Marine, then yeah, he makes, look, he's going to just slightly be supply blocked for that. So I feel like that wasn't perfectly optimized, but here we go. Dandy coming down with those 6 SCVs. Might be a quick one here, but normally you don't end up getting a full kill. Throws down the bunker. Okay, the Dragoons are not out yet. So this was a very, very quick push, by the way. A lot of pros push a little bit later than this. But it did allow him to get a lot of health on that bunker so far. Really great micro there by Dandy, keeping that Zealot back, which is incredibly important. Comes up and is targeting down a lot of these units. Oh my god, that Dragoon stuck between the SCVs will end up falling, and now he's just down to targeting. Oh my god, he gets one in. He's targeting down a lot of these probes. Actually, the probe gets a lot of damage there on the Vulture as well. Oh my god, he kills it just in the nick of time. Saves the Vulture as well. Huge moments here. Comes in with the Dragoon, and yeah, can't quite get what he's looking for, unfortunately. Danny putting a bit more damage on with those Vultures. This is a huge lead. Like, he killed a lot of probes. And as long as he gets this, look, you do have to block this. This is really good play again by Danny. Blocking that Dragoon in there. Now, he really focused heavily on killing the vultures. Okay, he does have a robo coming up. But if I see someone targeting vultures that hard, it's like, oh, are you going to go DT or something? You know, you do start wondering about that because oftentimes mines are the follow-up when you have those vultures out there. You just kind of lay mines to slow Protoss down from leaving their base or anything like that. Either way, Promise has sacrificed a lot of Dragoons in this game thus far. There are 3 SCVs ready for repair. He's setting these Dragoons up. These are both to block a vulture coming in to harass, but also to hit that bunker when it's ready. The vulture just kind of scouting everything out and will turn around here as well. Oh my God. Running out again. Very, very surprising. The vulture gets pulled back. So Dandy's pullbacks have been amazing. Now, this is a somewhat common to have some Dragoons on this side to stop reinforcements. Dandy right now focusing more heavily on killing off this Nexus. You do want to make sure you don't lose any of these SCVs. Their repairing capabilities are incredibly important. And down come the Dragoons. So he's trying to target down SCVs. Sometimes you can do some load micro there to make that work out a bit better. The Vulture comes back to help target probes, but it only had 5 health left. So that will be knocked out. Tries to target down the damaged Dragoon. Doesn't quite get it, unfortunately. But let's take a look at the state of this game now. That was a crazy bunker push and a crazy hold from Promise. I'm honestly surprised he broke it. I thought that Dandy was going to end up killing that Nexus, but did not end up getting it. So, Dandy right now. Command center finishes. He's down 5 workers. That's brutal. That's brutal. So, I mean, obviously the game state changed a lot because he did that. But if you just go command center against a Nexus first 2 gate, generally that's about how many workers are going to be up anyways. So did he gain any real ground here is the question, I think. And taking a look at it, honestly, I feel like the answer is no. He killed a lot of probes and everything, right? He slowed the tech, but his own stuff is slowed as well. Yeah, I'm not a super big fan of his position in this game. Not that it is unplayable, but yeah, he's down 7 workers right now. It is rough. He's getting his armory. He's building some siege tanks. But Promise, I feel like, you know, he's getting his range upgrade. He's getting plenty of Dragoons. He's going to want to think about where he goes next. I would say just make a 3rd base. We can see he's getting the robotics support base, so going into Reaver. But with that Reaver, I think every time you're going to go 3rd base. You're definitely not going to stay on 2 base with that. His observer sees what's going on. He sees that it's 2 factory right now. He sees that it's an armory right now. He's got a bunker and all that. And I think the only direction here for Dandy is to add quite a few factories, right? Like he's going to have to go up to 5 factories at least. He might go 6 factories and just try for a massive attack or something like that. But as long as you're producing consistently, getting your Reavers up, I think that 3rd Nexus is not gonna cause a loss here. I think it's the right play for Promise. Now the Vulture comes up, and that was a great scout timing from Dandy, by the way. He felt that 3rd base should be being taken. He was checking on it, and he actually killed the probe. So gonna take, you know, he's slowing it down by like 30, 40 seconds, which is pretty nice. This probe will come over and just throw that down. In the meantime, plenty of scouting here. Oh, he's gonna run up and try to snipe tanks. 1. There you go. 2. Yeah, he's got that one too. Wow. 2 tank kills right now, losing nothing is pretty insane. This Dragoon's pretty low, so might end up losing that as these tanks come back. Look at that. Even targets down in SCV. Not sure that that's totally worth, but backs up with some now very injured Dragoons. So Dandy almost has siege mode. +1 has not started for him. Honestly, this looks like a bit of a rough game. I feel like Promise has done what he needed to healthily get into the next portions of this game. Now, I would say also that Dandy's not dead. He's getting up to a very solid SCV count. He's still down 7. But you can see, right, his factory adds a little bit later than you want to put it into... Well, obviously the game was made very weird by the openings. But oftentimes you're getting beyond these 2 factories over in the 8-minute area, right? Like 8 minutes, 10 seconds, 8 minutes, 20 seconds. You're going to be adding at least a couple factories. That's not the case here, obviously. A lot slower. The turret's doing a good job, though. Pushing that Reaver out. Gets rid of the Observer. Promise with a couple groups of Dragoons. These are just to stop any scouts that come out, whether they be SCVs or vultures. And now that siege mode is done, definitely looks and feels like Dandy can push out and maybe think about taking another base. Looking at Promise's side of the map, adding more gates as his Reavers are popping out, sending probes over to this third Nexus. The fourth Nexus is on the way. No real defense against vultures or anything, but there aren't any yet. In fact, only Goliath range being made. More factories being added on there as well. Moving into position with these siege tanks. And... okay, so he's going to 6 facts. I do think this is going to turn into a push. Because if you take a look, the way you can kind of tell it's a push over anything else is there's no more SCV production. Okay, he's also getting his academy right now. He never did end up getting an upgrade here, so I feel like that is a big miss. Like, if you're gonna do a 6 fact, you should get +1 with it. It's just the timing lines up pretty well, and +1 helps a lot. So it does look like Dandy wants to attack. And again, you can't really blame him for that with the tough game state that we're in. Now, this is different from some other games that I've casted because of the crazy action we had at the beginning. But there are some things that just kind of hold true. Like, look at the siege tank count. We have 10 siege tanks, and I've mentioned this before. 10 siege tanks is like pretty insanely strong. That's where they start to get really, really good. He actually only loses 1 Goliath getting rid of the 2 Reavers, so that is very solid as well. Definitely wants to repair those. And with the Reavers out, you can actually push up to this high ground pretty darn easily. But what you're going to be looking out for is your opponent actually hitting their macro, right? So, like, as you populate... this is not a good engage from Promise. He should definitely be backing up there. Basically, what you want to do is hit before their economy all comes together. So right now it's 70 probes, so it's just pure production from here on out. It's the only thing that Promise needs to think about is making a ton of units. So Dandy's maybe slightly late with the move out, but he was in a bad position, so it makes sense. Huge sacrifices on the Dragoons. Huge sacrifices. I'm a little bit shocked at those sacrifices there. I feel like the engage here was bad, and then that engage was extremely bad. And now Dandy is getting into position. This is Dandy's game to lose at this point. Look at this. He's down almost 30 workers, but similar in supply. Well, I guess you see it starting to go up pretty quickly here for Promise because he has so many gateways. But yeah, it's... like, he has an army that can actually kill. Now, does he have the scan? Does he have the scan? There it is. There it is. Has to get turrets down. Very important that the turrets get down. Now, Psystorms come out. Oh my god, he gets both the SCVs. That's actually probably the biggest part of that. Now you can make more Dark Templars from here. We don't see that occurring. It is mostly Dragoons being made. Honestly, he should just pop some more Dark Templars out because it's going to be hard to continually scan and nail those. Now, Zealot Bombs coming out. There's only 1 Goliath left over to try to block this shuttle. In fact, does not focus the targeting. Dragoons coming in, trying to hit this flank as well. Kind of wild right now. Dandy is killing so much. He's gotten a ton of the probes. We've lost over 10 probes for Promise recently. This Nexus very likely to go down. More SCVs come down to build some more turrets. Honestly, I think he should probably finish up that one, honestly. Just get some turrets up wherever they are. And you know what? The Zealots run in. They pick off a couple siege tanks, which is solid. But laying some mines, unfortunately, loses another SCV a little bit too far forward on that turret. Looking back at Dandy's base, yep, it's just the 6 factory production. He's almost got that +1 now, a little bit late. Working on this Nexus. This Nexus is somewhat low from the initial attacks, don't forget, so might be able to kill that one as well. He's also trying to drag mines up on those tanks. Dandy will deal with those. His siege tank count is getting a little bit low. That's going to make the power of these Dragoons a bit stronger, but 2 more tanks are coming. Setting up that missile turret once again. A little bit further back this time, trying to just make sure it finishes. More and more units just rallying across the field. No real counterattack potential coming out from Promise. Sometimes you'll see a Protoss like send a shuttle up to try to buy some time with something like a Reaver in it, but that's not happening in this game. Instead, just using all of his might trying to bust through this push. Drops out a couple Zealots, but will lose those. Very low tank health now. More Zealots joining in. The Dragoons pushing forward, getting in the way of these Zealots. The Zealots will start to flood out now. Can they get a Mind Drag? Doesn't look like it that time. There are a lot of Zealots here, though, and the Vulture count is getting lower. Some nice micro pulling the back a little bit. A Psystorm up there could be fantastic, but looks like he doesn't have the energy on either of those High Templar. And we are pretty even right now. Third base is up in mining. He does have the cannon there. It's a possibility Dandy doesn't know about that. Okay, he sends a siege tank, so I guess he probably scanned that. We did hear a couple scans and didn't see exactly where those were. So that's highly annoying. You actually need to pull your probes and get him on top of that and hope he doesn't send vultures. But that base is under fire. Now, can Dandy continue to push in? Gets a couple good storms down. Promise breaking through a little bit. Gonna target down these tanks. The rest of the tanks are basically gone. He has no more mine coverage. These two tanks, yeah, they most likely won't make it home either. And he should be able to kill this siege tank. 23 kills on it. Oof. Promise a little bit late on trying to clear that. You know, I think a lot of things Promise has done this game. You know, I think the overall fundamentals of it are good. And then we just missed a few of the smaller moves, right? A few of the micro possibilities, you know, killing those tanks a little bit, that tank a little bit quicker, that type of thing. Maybe adding in a few DTs after he stopped both the turrets with the Psystorms, kill all the SCVs that are up there. You know, those are powerful moments. But, you know, the game continues to go on. A lot of vultures hitting this third base. It's only Zealots here, so you can micro and kill these pretty easily. The cannons aren't ready quite yet, but they are going to be ready. So 2 cannons warping in. You're not going to be able to do quite as much with these as you had hoped. Going to try to run back, maybe pick off the High Templar on the way. Danny getting ready to take his third base location. He's actually up as far as workers go, but look at this. Minerals in the main base just about gone. Minerals getting a little bit low here. Needs that third base up in mining. He did somehow get up into the science facility as well. So he has +2 attack on the way. Let's take a look at Promise. He's mined out his main. His natural is getting pretty low, remaking the third. And he has transferred over quite a few workers to this fourth base location. So he's getting that mined up as well. Honestly, I'm not sure which way this game is going to go. Like, Dandy did a ton of damage with his attack. He killed a lot of probes down here. He killed all the probes and this Nexus. Really slowed his opponent's economy. And now he's spreading out into 3 bases. And honestly, like, his army is not far off from the size it needs to be to take this high ground. And once if we zoom out a little bit, you can see if you hold this high ground, you're kind of like, maybe you could expand there. Maybe you could expand there. It's kind of, generally, I think you'd go in this direction. But then you can build in the center some, not these tiles, but like this area, this area, this area, this area. You can build a lot in that center, like missile turrets and whatnot, and like start to control the map a bit. Whereas Promise, he doesn't have any probes over here. Dandy knows it. So Dandy knows that Promise right now is probably only on 4 base. So like 3 base versus 4 base, you're feeling pretty good. He's laying his mines down, throwing down some missile turrets as well, bringing the barracks over to spot anything coming in. Promise is adding another gateway. It looks like he's ready to really start hitting his macro here. That is a lot of siege tanks for Dandy right now. Psystorm's going to be probably the biggest issue for Dandy as he walks out of his base. Just to throw that out there, right? Whenever Terran is going up these smaller areas, it's a great time to try to blanket them with some Psystorms. Dandy, of course, aware of that's going to be something big that Promise is trying. Looks like he sends his vultures to try to pick these off. So he will get 1. He will get 2. So he sacrifices maybe 5 vultures, maybe 6 vultures. Not entirely sure exactly how many he sent. And gets 2 High Templars with him. I think totally worth there. Equal in supplies at the moment. Unsieges his tanks, getting ready to move up. If there is no Psystorm, it is very easy to get up here. And in fact, you can see Archons added in. Archons, I mean, they're not that good against Terran, to be honest. Sometimes you make them because you have a ton of extra gas, and it's better to have them than nothing, but this is going to be a little bit rough. Danny going to easily take his high ground. And honestly, if Dandy just macros straight and pushes, he might be able to win this game. Now, Promise comes up. He brings a lot of Zealots up here. The Siege Tanks, you know what? The Archons eat up a lot of those hits, but the Zealots evaporate just as quickly. Some Psystorm drops come out. He only gets one off, and a ton of Dragoons die there as well. Man, Dandy putting out a high-quality game here. Kills off quite a few units. New base for Promise is going up, but Promise having a hard time keeping a reasonable army together. I feel like every time his Dragoons engage, they get absolutely splattered. Dandy moving forward, getting ready to push onto this high ground. If he takes over this high ground, this base dies, and you kind of contain units coming out of the main base. This could be a winning maneuver from him, but this is still a reasonable fighting army from Promise. He's got +2 attack. He's got some Psystorms in there. He has a shuttle, has an okay Dragoon amount, but that is quite the spread right now of Siege Tanks. Here we go. Promise running in, gonna try to break through here. Storm's going down on those Siege Tanks. A defense matrix does almost nothing for him there. Promise definitely needs to back up. Okay, loses a few extra units there, but he got him down to 6 Siege Tanks. What else is coming out? Oh, God, we have 4 more at home. He needs to send up those reinforcements ASAP. Vultures running in, picking off the High Templars at any point that they can. Promise bringing in the rest of his army. Just anything that rallies out right now, he's trying to fight with. The Psystorm's going to be absolutely crucial. Big Psystorm right there. But is it going to be only one? Okay, throws a second one down. The D-Matrix saving that tank for days. And you know what? Dandy breaks through that army once again. So few units are left. He can get into that position to try to push everything down. Promise just setting up below the ramp, stopping anything from moving forward, at least for the moment. Dandy's spreading out, getting ready to attack this other base. All right, here we go. The Zealot drops could be really strong, dealing some pretty massive splash damage in here. Look at that. Zealots spread absolutely everywhere. These are all in the red right now. Going to pick off those 2 tanks in a matter of seconds. But, of course, this base is taking a ton of damage during all that time. Picks off a lot of the tanks, but a few Vultures left over with another tank. These 2 still left alive, just pummeling this Nexus, and the probes mining at it. Just about impossible to get anything over here, and that is it. GG. Dandy ends up taking this game down. I gotta say, like, there was some very interesting moments. Like, I think that overall, strategically, it was well played by Promise, but he had some bad Dragoon engages. And I think that that is the key where Dandy really took him down. He had plenty of Dragoons, but don't ever fight with just Dragoons. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. Thank you for watching.